only mode.
Hi, my name's Amy Tetlow-Baxter and welcome to Completing a Successful Stock Take with Shortcuts. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. So the duration of this webinar will be approximately 30 minutes. Your speakers must be turned on to hear this webinar. My microphone is on, everyone else has been automatically muted. Questions will be taken throughout the webinar using the chat box. So the learning outcomes for today, you will be familiar with how to create and complete a new stock take, be able to set up and use reasons, understand how to manage your professional stock, understand best stock taking practice, and be familiar with key reports for monitoring stock. So we're going to create and complete a stock take. So stock control is key to ensuring your product levels are correct. So a hot tip, we would recommend rotating your stock takes by doing a product, company or line per week rather than one complete stock take, especially if the company that you're going to be counting is particularly large. So I'm going to show you a quick demonstration using shortcuts. So in shortcuts, underneath the stock section, you'll notice that we have a section on stock taking. You can see that I've already had a few stock takes that I've completed in the past, and you can see the description, who's responsible for completing that stock take, and you can see the status that these ones have been completed. To start a new stock take, if I click on the new box, and the description could be the company and line, or it could be the full company. For today, I'm actually just going to count the all soft, which is in the Redkin section. Once you've typed in your description, you'll see who's responsible again for completing that stock take, and this can be changed by clicking on the little drop down. Once you've typed in your description, if you click on the next tab at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that it takes us to the stock take entries form. And this is where we can add the stock that we want to count. On the top right hand side, if I click on add, you'll see I have my different product selections in here. If I click on the plus sign next to Redkin, I'm just going to click on all soft, clicking on the little grey tab on the left hand side, but you can choose multiple companies or lines by clicking on the grey tabs. Once you've chosen your company or line, if I click on the add box and click done, you can see that it's added the stock in the background that I'm going to be counting. At the bottom of the page, you can see how many products fall in that line. And to start the stock take, I'm going to click on the start box on the bottom of the page. Are you sure you want to activate this stock take? I'm going to say yes. And it gives us the different reports that you can actually print out. So the stock take form will give you a list of the stock that you're counting. And you'll also see that there's, on the right hand side, there'll be a little area where you can add your stock counts. You have your unlist items form. And this is if you were walking around the salon and there were products on your shelf that were not in your system, you could add them to that particular form. And you also have your stock maintenance form. And that can be if you're walking around the salon and you notice that a product is out of date or it's damaged, you can apply that onto your form and remove it out of the system once you get a chance. The ones that we would highly recommend to print out is the stock take form. And once printing this out, again, you can also print out the shortcuts current levels. For today, I am going to remove the ticks and click done. If I click done again, once you've actually been around the salon and counted all your different stock, in the stock section, if we go back to Stocktake, you can see that the Redken All Soft is now active. If I click on here and click Next, this is where we then put in our shortcuts current levels. So you can see at the moment we have the company or the lines on the left hand side, all the different products that we're going to be counting. And underneath the count section, this is where we go ahead and we put in our current levels. By pressing enter on your keyboard, it will take you down to the next line and you can add in your currents. You will notice for the All Soft Velvet Whip that I have an adjustment value, and this adjustment value is because the computer thought that I have 3 and I only have 2 in stock, which means I've lost a product which costs £9.20. Over on the right hand side, if you do have different levels to what the computer thought you have different reasons. So I've just added a couple of different reasons and we'll be coming back to this in just a second. For now, I'm going to say that it was used for the back bar. Once you've completed your stock count and filled in your count on this page, if you click on the Finish tab, you'll see it's asking you to complete the Stocktake, and committing the Stocktake will update your shortcuts current levels. If I say yes, you will also notice that it's now coming up to tell me that I have different levels to what the computer thought I did have. It's recommending that I do recount these items. However, if you are happy with this and you are sure that you have only got 2 in stock, where it says, would you like to perform a recount, choosing no will update your shortcuts current levels. If I say no, it means that I will not have to perform a recount. If I had said yes, it would have printed out all of the forms again for me to go around the salon and complete the Stocktake once more. Once you click on that, you'll see that it says congratulations and you've successfully completed your Stocktake, and product levels will be updated according to your counts. If I hit done and done again, in my stock and product section, if I click on the little plus sign next to Redken and All Soft, you'll see in there that my current levels have been adjusted. I'm just going to take us back to the slideshow. So as you saw me mention before about the different reasons, as you'll see in here, you can set up new Stocktake reasons. And to do this, if you go into the setup and the configuration and into the general section over on the left hand side, you can create your new reasons. Once you're in the Stocktake section, you'll see that you can add new reasons by clicking on the new box at the bottom of the page. Create your different reasons, and you can even put yourself a little description in the reason text. If you perform a Stocktake and you don't put a reason in there, you will see that this little message will appear. So Stocktake variation reason is not set for 1 or more items with variation. Please select variation reason. So now we're going to take a look at professional stock usage. Professional stock usage enables you to monitor how much stock is being used within the salon. You should be using professional stock usage when monitoring resale and professional stock that the salon has used. And in order to do this, if we go into the main and point of sale, on the top left-hand side of your screen, we must find a client. And that client must be hash business. Therefore, you're saying the business has used this stock. If we click done, on this page you can add the stock that has been used by either scanning it. You can also click on the empty line, choose the employee who is scanning out this stock, for example Becky, and you can choose the stock that they are scanning out. I'll just choose a couple of different ones in here and click done. So by clicking on multiple, if they're red, that means they will add them to the point of sale. Another little tip is if you have a lot of different colours that you are scanning out, if you press the F3 button or function F3 on your keyboard, the little search box will appear and you can actually type in the product that you wish to scan out. On this page, you'll notice that the price is set at 0, and that's because the business has already paid for this stock and you will not be paying for it again. You can change your current quantity of the amount of stock you're scanning out by clicking on the quantity and changing that to the correct amount. Once you're happy with this page, if you click on the end sale button, that will scan it out. So in your actual product section, it will take that off your current level in there, and you'll also be able to monitor your professional stock usage by looking at your different reports. So if I just end sale now, and I'll take us back to the slideshow. So for StockTake best practice, we recommend that you create smaller stock takes. Little and often is key. Recount, recount, recount. So please don't leave it months in between counting your stock, and manage professional stock in a timely manner. So we usually recommend that this is done once or twice per week. And if you have like a products empties bin, all of the products should go in there, and then one person can go through and actually scan these out at the end of the week. So for our different stock reports, we have 3 that we would recommend that you use, and this will monitor your professional stock usage, your current levels, and also the amount of stock you have on hand. But the first one we're going to take a look at is the StockTake report. And I do have a little handout which I am just going to try and send over to you just now. If you didn't receive that handout, I will send this to you after we finish today. But as you can see on the screen, we have our StockTake report. This will give you a list of all the products that you've counted. It will show you all the products that have been sold by the business. This can be viewed over set date ranges, and this can be restricted by product company. You'll see the current level, the recorded count, the actual count, and also if there is a variance between what you had before the StockTake and afterwards. To get to these reports, if you go to Tools, Reports, Stock and Stock Control Reports, you'll see this in more detail. The next report is our professional stock usage. So this is the stock, whether it's retail or professional, that you have said the business has used. This can be viewed over set date ranges and also can be restricted by product and company. And you'll see in here the current or quantity of stock that has actually been used by the business. The average product cost. Now it's important, in order to show the average product cost, that you do have the buy price within your system. A hot tip is to view this report alongside top selling products report to identify lost retail opportunity. Again, if we go to Tools, Reports, Stock and Professional Stock Usage, you will find this report in here. The last one I'm going to show you is the stock reports for stock control reports. This report shows total quantity and value on hand for all products, current levels of products, current products on order, average cost per product, and value on hand. Again, it's important that you have the correct buy price, so the cost of the product within the system, in order for this to give you accurate results, as well as performing stock takes on a regular basis. Again, to find this report, if you go to Tools, Reports, Stock and Stock Take Report. And this is our stock control report. Okay, so as a summary, today you have learned to be familiar with how to create and complete a new stock take, be able to set up and use reasons, understand how to manage your professional stock, understand best stock taking practice, and be familiar with key reports for monitoring stock. If anybody has any questions, if you want to just type them into the chat box and I will answer them now for you. So I do have a question, but how do I account for part use products on the first stock take? With shortcuts, one of the key things that we always say is, unless that product is completely empty, we still class it as one product. So for example, when doing a stock take, if you have partial, so half of a colour tube or half of a shampoo, we always class it as a one full product until it is completely empty, and then we scan it out of the system. This again just enables us to monitor how much the selling is actually using as professional stock usage, and also this will help with the reporting. So if you're doing a reporting or you're looking at ordering and you've got half of a colour tube that you don't use on a regular basis, if we say that that product is empty when really it's half full, we don't want the system to keep on telling you that you need to order more than you actually need. So always count a partial tube as being a full tube. I'm just having a read through all of the questions. So I do have a question about how to set up minimum and max stock levels. So let me just take you back into shortcuts quickly. Okay, so in shortcuts, again, in our stock section, in the products, it's in here that you actually add your minimum and maximum levels. So again, if I just go to the all soft. What you have in here is the maximum and the minimum. Now with the maximum minimum, this is used for ordering purposes, and there will be another webinar on reporting shortly, so I'll just quickly whiz over this. But your minimum level is the trigger to let the system know that you need to order more. So if you make sure that you put your minimum level, so for example, when you fall below 2, the system will tell you to order more. So your minimum level would be 2. Again, I'll just have a read through if there's any more questions. I can see that someone's still typing one, which is why I've just paused for a second. So I have another question in there about how you would actually perform a recount of stock. So if you've made a mistake, the easiest way to go around is that when it actually, like I said, the system will warn you when if your current levels are different to your compute account. Now you can manually go into shortcuts, look at the products and change the current level in there, but it would probably be worth to do a recount if you think that your the stock take that you completed was completely wrong. Okay, I think that's it for the questions. If anybody does have any more, please just keep on typing them and I will come to them at the end. So you'll also notice that we have some education videos on our YouTube page. Please go on there and have a little look, and you have got some information on there all to do with stock taking. Although it doesn't mention it on here, you have got your ordering on there as well. And just to let you know about future webinars, in July we're going to be taking a closer look at Spotlight. In August we're going to be taking a closer look at our different reporting in shortcuts and our key reports. And in September we're going to be looking at making the most of social media. If you would like to register for future webinars, here's the information on our screen just now. And if you do have any further questions, please contact us on the education@shortcuts.co.uk, or you can telephone us on the normal number or visit our Facebook page. I'm just going to take one more look and see if there's any more questions. I think that's it for the questions today. Thank you very much for taking part in the webinar, and I will speak to you all soon. Thank you.